Brian, you talked before the playoffs about the importance of just not getting too high or getting too low during the run. I mean, you've experienced it last year. How has this team been after wins and after losses in that perspective?
Yeah, I think you have a pretty good leadership group. It starts with Rod Pelly, Pierre LeBlanc. Those guys have been around a lot of hockey, so they keep us pretty even keeled. Obviously, last night wasn't the night we were looking for. Got off to a good start, but that was about it. But then again, like our coach said, if you lose in quadruple overtime or triple overtime, whatever that may be, you still lose the hockey game. So you got to get wins or losses. You got to get wins, and the only way to do that is reset, focus on the next game, and don't worry about what happened last game, regardless of what the score was. It's a loss, and that's what it is.
I mean, obviously, there's specific things you need to work on to get out of your game. How do you go about doing that? Mainly the penalty taking.
Yeah, it starts with that. Stay out of the box, 5-on-5, pretty even serious. Obviously, our special teams outplayed us last night. That was the difference in the game.
Um, was that easier said than done though? In terms of okay, don't take penalties.
I think the biggest thing is it has a compounding effect. When you take penalties, a lot of your better players are usually killing penalties, so that has an effect 5-on-5 on your power play penalty kill throughout your lineup. You're tiring out guys that play a lot of big minutes. So not only are you giving them an opportunity when they're up, but man, you're tiring out your best players. So I think it starts with that, and then it should affect all other areas of our game in a positive way if we can stay out of the box.
Once you guys get behind, does it kind of take you out of your game? And it just seemed like once they got up 2-1, 3-1, all of a sudden we saw the offense that they should shown all year. Is it just not a team you want to play from behind against?
Yeah, that's one of their strengths. That's what the kind of game they want. So obviously we want to avoid that, but we got to learn from that game last night. We can do some things that we would have liked when we were down a couple goals. Still, pretty gettable game was 3-1 there when Ben Thompson breaks the glass there. We could reset, but we didn't. We gave them a little bit more life. They got a couple more goals, and the game was over at that point. But yeah, that's not a game we want to be in. We want to be in tight checking games, and that's the way we're going to have the most success.
It seems like this team's had success when you guys are strong on the forecheck and creating turnovers in the offensive zone. What's been the key there?
Yeah, I think you go back to the penalty thing too. I think it all ties together because whenever you're taking a lot of penalties, it's hard to get on the forecheck because there's no rhythm to the game. So if we can keep the game 5-on-5 for the majority of the game, I think we'll be able to get to our forecheck and dictate the style of play that we want to play and have the most success at.
Is this series typical of most series you've been involved with in terms of is the hatred's maybe too strong a word, but the dislike of the opponent kind of builds as every game gets played?
Yeah, I think it's just natural. Any team you play over and over again over the course of a week or two, you're not gonna, become friends over that week. There's gonna be some things that you're gonna have discrepancy with, or you're gonna have differences with certain players on the ice that you're playing against a lot. A lot of the guys are playing against the same guys over and over again, shift after shift. So yeah, that's just normal. Obviously, it was unfortunate what happened last night, but we'll regroup and move on.
Has it become more physical as the series has gone on?
You know, the travel, there's going to be some games where guys are going to look fatigued, whether they're playing the extended minutes or a game goes in overtime, which, take the pace of play down a little bit, which might take away from some of the physicality. It's hard to finish checks when, some teams are a little bit more tired day to day. So I think that's just a game by game thing. In their barn, obviously, I don't know what it is, but it seems like that's a little bit more intense in their barn. It might be their crowd, might be just the rink itself. So I think game by game, that definitely changes.